Nikki Bella reveals breast implant was pushed down to her ribs after brutal injury. Hey everyone, welcome back. Today we've got some truly surprising and heartwarming news from the WWE Universe. What's up, wrestling fans? And welcome back to the channel. Today we're diving into a shocking, painful, and eye-opening revelation from none other than WWE Hall of Famer Nikki Bella. Throughout her career, Nikki Bella was one of the biggest names in women's wrestling. She was bold, fearless, and often willing to put her body on the line to entertain the WWE Universe. But behind all the glamour, championship gold, and iconic moments, there was a physical cost that many fans never truly understood. Recently, Nikki opened up about one of her most painful and personal injuries, a brutal incident that actually pushed one of her breast implants down to her ribs. Yes, you heard that right. This wasn't just your typical wrestling bruise or back spasm. This was something far more serious, shocking, and even life-altering. In this video, we're going to break down everything Nikki Bella revealed about this injury, the backstory of how it happened, the aftermath on her career, the surgeries she had to endure, and how it ties into the legacy of women's wrestling today. So grab a seat, hit that like button, and let's get started. Before we get into the injury itself, let's rewind the clock a bit. To understand the weight of Nikki's revelation, we need to look back at her career trajectory. Nikki Bella, alongside her twin sister Brie, started out in WWE during a time when women's wrestling wasn't nearly as respected or spotlighted as it is today. Known as the Bella Twins, they first entered the WWE in 2007, and for years, they worked through the Divas era, a time when female talent were often limited to short matches, over-sexualized storylines, and very little recognition for their in-ring abilities. But Nikki didn't let those limitations define her. She evolved from being just a diva into a legitimate wrestler who could hold her own against the best. By 2015, Nikki Bella had carved out a name as the longest-reigning Divas champion in history. She was athletic, powerful, and charismatic, and she pushed herself to match the growing demands of a WWE women's division that was starting to shift towards serious competition. However, as Nikki took on more physically demanding matches, the risks to her body became much greater. Unlike the early days of quick roll-ups and catfights, Nikki was now involved in hard-hitting bouts with women like Paige, Charlotte Flair, and Sasha Banks. This is where the story of her injury begins. Nikki has revealed in interviews that one of the most brutal injuries she ever suffered happened inside the ring. But it wasn't just the neck injury that fans remember sidelining her career. During a particularly physical stretch in her career, Nikki took an impact that caused one of her breast implants to literally shift down toward her ribs. Imagine the sheer force it would take for something surgically placed in your chest to be knocked out of position and pushed into your rib cage. She described the pain as absolutely unbearable, saying it wasn't just uncomfortable. It felt like her body had betrayed her. Unlike a broken arm or sprained ankle, this was something incredibly personal and invasive. It affected her physically, emotionally, and psychologically. Now, breast implants are fairly common in the entertainment and sports industry, but what many people don't realize is that they can actually be quite vulnerable in contact-heavy sports. Professional wrestling, with its bumps, slams, and stiff hits, puts performers at risk of injuries most fans would never imagine. For Nikki, this was a worst-case scenario. At first, Nikki tried to hide the injury. She didn't want to show weakness, and she didn't want to lose her spot at the top of the women's division. She powered through matches, all while experiencing shooting pains in her chest and ribs. It wasn't until the situation got worse that she had no choice but to get medical help. Doctors told her point blank. The implant had been pushed so far out of place that she would need surgery to correct it. Nikki Bella's road to recovery wasn't simple. Correcting an implant displacement isn't like putting on a bandage or icing a sprained ankle. It requires surgery, rest, and often additional complications arise. Nikki revealed that she had to undergo multiple surgeries, not only to correct the implant, but also to address the surrounding damage caused by the injury. The impact of the injury had stretched tissue and caused internal bruising, which made the surgical process even more delicate. For someone whose career relied on being physically active and appearing on television every week, this was devastating. Surgery meant time off. Recovery meant months away from the ring. And in the fast-moving world of WWE, where stars can be replaced at the snap of a finger, time away can mean losing everything you've built. The physical pain was matched by the emotional stress. Nikki admitted that she feared how fans would perceive her. Would they still see her as strong and fearless if they knew she was sidelined by something like this? Would critics mock her for having breast implants in the first place, saying it was her fault? But Nikki pressed on, using her downtime to heal, both physically and mentally. And when she returned, she came back stronger, proving that she wasn't going to let this injury define her career. Interestingly, Nikki's implant injury overlapped with another major health crisis in her career, her severe neck injury. Fans may remember that in late 2015, Nikki was forced to step away from WWE because of a herniated disc in her neck. She eventually required surgery that involved fusing a metal plate to her spine. That injury alone could have ended her career permanently. What's shocking is that Nikki was battling both issues around the same time frame. Not only was she dealing with the aftermath of an implant being pushed in her ribs, but she was also fighting to regain her mobility and strength after major neck surgery. This combination of injuries paints a picture of just how much Nikki put her body on the line for WWE. The implant injury may not have been as publicized as the neck surgery, but together, they represent the enormous physical sacrifices she made to entertain millions. When Nikki Bella revealed the truth about her breast implant injury, fans had mixed reactions. Some were shocked, expressing sympathy and respect for what she endured. Many people had never even considered that something like this could happen in wrestling, and it opened their eyes to the hidden dangers female wrestlers face. Others, however, were more critical. Social media lit up with cruel comments, with some people mocking her for having implants in the first place. Detractors argued that by choosing surgery for cosmetic reasons, she had put herself at risk. But Nikki didn't back down. She reminded everyone that wrestling is a dangerous sport regardless of your body type. Injuries happen to everyone, men and women, and hers just happened to involve an implant. She emphasized that the ridicule only highlighted the double standards women face in professional wrestling. By speaking openly, Nikki turned the conversation into a teaching moment, showing that women wrestlers deal with unique challenges and shouldn't be shamed for them. Nikki Bella's revelation adds yet another layer to her legacy. She wasn't just a star of reality TV.